Hello, welcome back to Hunt Resin, or welcome to Hunt Resin. In this video I'll be making these Lotus Flower coasters. To do that I'll be dusting on mica powder and drawing around the rim. To do this you'll need a metallic acrylic pen. It doesn't have to be gold, it can be any colour you want, you get them in all different colours. Same with the mica powders. I'm just doing this because it's a blue lotus flower, these are the ones I use, but you can use whatever contrasting ones that you like, that'll look pretty. You'll also need some paint brushes that have loose bristles as you're dusting it on. You'll need sellotape and alcohol spray just to clean your coaster mould. A mould with ridges for the metallic pen, doesn't have to be this one, can be a Medalla one or any other ones that you get, and the mica powder for the top coat, which will technically be the underneath coat. You also have sellotape there, that's just to get dust and things off. You'll need measuring cups and you'll need a cup to put the resin in. I use a silicone one, but you can use paper ones and everything as well. First you need resin and you need gloves and a mask. First things first, I'm going to give my coaster mould a little clean with the alcohol and then with the sellotape. Now that it's clean, I go over the ridges with the acrylic pen. I have a sheet of paper right next to me so I can push down in the acrylic pen. I don't know if you've used them before, but they kind of spurt out a wee bit more ink when you push it down, so I use that and I scoop it up every so often so I can just make it a bit thicker on the lines, and I go over the whole thing with this. Sometimes I do 2 coats, it depends how thick it comes out, but I try and be as neat as possible, but you are going to get on some of the lines and stuff, but you can clean that up afterwards and I'll show you how to do that if you keep watching. So to give it a clean and get rid of some of the acrylic paint that's gone onto the middle of the mould, I just spray a cotton bud with the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and then I just go around it and just scoop up that paint anywhere it is and just make it a little clean. On this mould it will go on the edges with that pen, which is fine because I'm actually going to go around the edges of the gold paint anyway, so it doesn't matter really much. As I said before, you don't have to use this mould, but if you want to, I put a link in the description below for this mould and every other thing that I've used in the video as well so far. Please like and subscribe, I want to make so many more videos, I've got so many ideas, lists and I can't wait to get them out there. It just takes so much time to make a video. But thank you for your support and I hope you like and subscribe and hope you like the videos. Keep tuned and I'll show you how I dust on the mica. A little close up so you can see the nice gold, it's so pretty. So now we have to leave that for a couple of hours as it does need to dry before we put on the mica. Here I've got my mica powders and the brushes I need to put them on. I start with the blue because that's going to be the big surface area, so I'm going to use the big paintbrush to powder on this. So I get a wee bit and then I tap it off. It's just kind of like makeup really, like when you're putting powder on you don't want to put on a big lump of powder. I know I should have used a different background. I'm putting blue on blue so you can't really see it, silly me, hindsight is a great thing, but you will see it in the end and the other colours really shine out really nice. So I will be putting the purple around the edges, that's why I'm using the big brush for the blue, purple around the edges, and then the yellow is kind of like a goldy for the middle, for like the kind of the centre of the flower kind of bit. So I will do this and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end, and then we'll be putting on black resin. Now the dusting's done, I mix the resin with some black mica powder. This is by Ceya and it's like a black silver, so it's got a nice shimmer to it. You do have to mix it really well because black it shows up and it's not mixed really well. I I put quite a lot in actually in this because I don't like it when it looks kind of greyish, and it just feels like grey with little bits of black in it, so I mix it and get right round to the edges because there's clump there too. And then I put about 3 or 4 scoops in of this. Normally meant to do 10%, but I think this seemed fine and it's set okay, so I used it until I was happy, basically. Now we're ready to pour. I pour right in the middle, but I also try and get right to the edges. I'm really conscious of the edges because they're quite thin and they're quite hard for the resin to get in, so I want it to fill it in, and then for the resin that I put on top to push it out, kind of. That's how I kind of see it, as filling it in, because resin doesn't go where you don't put it, and then once it's there it can just push it out when you put things much closer to it. Obviously there's lots of dips in this mould, so you can miss bits and air gets trapped in it quite easy. So I'm going to show you how I go about getting all the air that's trapped at the edges and at the points in a second with a toothpick, because yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one. But when you know where you're looking, that's the most important part. I find that with a lot of moulds, you need to know where to look, and you only know that by doing trial and error, unfortunately, a lot of the time. So if you watch this, then the trial and error has been done for you and you won't have to waste resin. This is what I mean by pushing it out. The resin I'm putting on top is now pushing the resin that's underneath further along, so it's kind of filling the gaps a bit more. That's what I kind of do. I go over the edges and then I put more on top, and it kind of just makes it push, because resin, as you know, is self-leveling. Sorry, I had a frog in my throat. So it pushes itself out once it's level, if it's at the right temperature, that is. If it's not, I've had that problem in the past, and that's another video. Not fun. When it's too cold, it doesn't self-level. But yeah, now I'm going to go around it with a toothpick and get right in the corners and in the edges, and you'll see the bubbles actually coming up from after when I hit the sides with the toothpick, and then there'll be little bubbles, so I'll just go plop. And that's because I'm literally pulling the bubbles up from the bottom, just so that you don't get as many dips. You're going to get dips, it's inevitable in your coaster or your mould, unfortunately, with some ones, but this is just a preventative to make sure there's not as many. Not sure if you spotted the bubbles that came up there, but you will see them when this actually torches them and gets rid of them. So these are the bubbles that come up from the side, so it's really, really good. There's another couple there, and yeah, that's it. I just go over it with the blowtorch. After I go over the blowtorch, I start using the lighter, because just to get into the corners, because I do not want to melt this mould. It is only silicone and it's a wee bit thin, this mould, so I don't want to do that. But yeah, I'm just going to continue going around the whole thing with the toothpick. It's a wee bit tedious, but hey ho, and getting rid of all the bubbles, and then I will show you the result. Now I don't know if it's just me, but I give my mould a little shuggle and a little shake. You need a vibrating mat or something. I need to get something like that that shakes it, because that gets up the bubbles. Some of the time I flop it down. This is a wee bit too loose, this one. The resin just go everywhere. I do kind of give it a little bit of a lift and a plop down, not just trying to pull up any of the bubbles that I can, and then I'll go over it again with a lighter or blowtorch a couple of times just to get them up. I find if you leave it for 10 minutes and then go over it again, you'll actually get some mica ones. I had a couple that were purple coming up, so that was quite cool. But now we need to let it set for at least 12 hours. We want it to be completely set, and realistically the acrylic paint should just come off when you take the mould off, and it shouldn't crack or come off, so hopefully, fingers crossed. Morning, time for the reveal. So it's been set underneath that for all night long, probably longer than 12 hours at this point in time. So I'm going to take off this coaster and see what the colours come out like. I hope it worked, and I hope it doesn't. Oh my gosh, look at my face. Resin is so shiny, it's so hard to get a nice picture of products and your reflection is always in it. Oh, look at me, yay, that's fun. I love that you can see my face. Don't judge me by these angles. But once I take this off, you will see the reveal of how it looks, and yay! As you can see, I'm going around the edges just so that it doesn't break or rip while I'm taking it off, and I want to be really gentle. So, oh, look at that! It's coming off really easily. No problems at all with the acrylic paint. The colour does look more blue in the video, but believe me, there is purple in there, and it's actually gorgeous. I was trying to get it to show up in the video, and it was so hard. But there you have it. That's how I do that. So simple and easy. The gold has cracked a wee bit, but I quite like it. I think it makes it look a wee bit more like antique-y. But there you go. That's how I do this, and it's really fun to do. These are actually going to be gifts for family members and friends over Christmas. So, lovely Lotus Flower coaster. Thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe and like this video. I'll be doing more in the future, and I really enjoy spending time with you guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye!